Well, it's finally here, Game 1 WHL Championship Series. What do you make of the opportunity ahead of you here?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's a very rare opportunity to get to play with a team like this and make it to the finals. So we've been waiting for a while here, it seems like, and so we'll be ready and we're excited.
Earlier this week, we talked about the adversity this team has faced, whether it's injuries, loss, whatever you want to say. What has made this group so close throughout the year and able to overcome these things?
Yeah, I think we've got a really good captain, Oasis. He's and just the whole leadership group. I think we've all kind of brought our team close, and when we need it, we've all stuck with each other, and we've gone through a lot. I don't think there's any team that's more hungry than us, and I think it's the reason why we're here.
Gavin, how do you manage the spotlight on you, the streak? Like, you're still really young. How are you managing all that?
Yeah, I think I've got a lot of resources to use. I think I've talked to people who've gone through similar stuff, and I've got my family, I've got my agents, I've got my teammates, I've got my coaches. So I think I've got lots of resources to use, and the most I can use them, the better.
And what goes into the consistency that you've showed? What are kind of the ingredients to that?
I think I kind of learned it my 16-year-old year when I was going into the second half of the year. I think I started to work a little harder off the ice and put in the extra time, and I think when you're doing that stuff, then it's just you become more consistent and it just becomes more natural.
Do you think you're one of those guys who kind of gets more fired up the bigger the spotlight, the bigger the stage?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've played in some big games and at some big stages, and I think that's when I performed my best. And I know these are some big moments that we're going to have here in this rink, and I think I'll be ready.
You mentioned the teammates. What does it mean to have Basha and Caden Lindstrom ready to try to make it back in here?
Yeah, super exciting. They're obviously great buddies of mine and great players. So whenever you get a chance to get those guys back in the lineup, it's exciting. I know they've been working hard to get the opportunity to play for us, so they'll be ready, and we're excited to have them back.
Have you had any interactions with the 07 group that's alumni or anything like that? Or?
No, not overly. I hear they're coming, though, so that's pretty exciting.
What goes through your mind when you realize that you weren't quite born yet the last time Medicine Hat won a championship? I think it was a couple months off.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I know the city's been sticking with us for a long time through the ups and downs, so we want to give back to them. We know they do a lot for us.
You're pretty familiar with some of the guys on the other side, but what are you expecting from the Chiefs in Game 1?
Yeah, they've got a lot of offense. They're going to be a team that's quick, a team that can create almost out of nothing. So we got to just make sure we're playing with the structure, and I think if you're good defensively, then the offense will come.
How much do you draw on that one regular season meeting when you guys kicked off your U.S. Division road trip in Spokane?
Yeah, I think it's huge for confidence, knowing that we can beat those guys. We were down 2-0 going into the third, and we came back. So I think, obviously they're a good team to get up 2-0 on us, but for us to come back, I think it brings a lot of confidence.
Two other Player of the Year finalists in Berkeley Catton and Andrew Crystal on the other side. What can you guys do to limit their opportunities?
Yeah, they're great players. They're tough players to play against. They use each other very well, and then Van Olm as well on that line. They just all complement each other. So we got to make sure when they're out there we're aware. And I think against that line, like I said, if we play good defense, we'll get offense.